Hey everybody, this is Greg with G Tweet Golf. Today I'm out at beautiful Quarry Oaks Golf Club in Ashland, Nebraska. Today I'm going to show you how you can lower your scores with 5 short game tips. Let's get started. Let's get started today with the pitch and run, the most basic and highest percentage play around the green. It's what most people consider chipping. With just a little bit of practice, this is going to be your most effective way to get up and down around the green and certainly save a lot of shots. Keys to a good pitch and run. First, we're going to create a descending blow into the ball. Second one, we're going to try and keep an even tempo back and through the ball when we're chipping. And then the third one, land the ball about a third of the way on and let it roll out to your target. As we get into more shots around the green, I wanted to bring up an interesting statistic. The famous short game instructor Dave Pelz, who worked with numerous PGA Tour players, determined through a bunch of research that 60% of the shots of the game actually are from 100 yards and in, so it's critical that we nail these short game shots. All right, let's get into some bunker basics. First thing I want to make sure that you're trying to do is keep your confidence level up. A lot of people fret and get worried about hitting out of the sand. Shouldn't be the case. With a little practice, you can nail this shot as well. Number one, we want to assess the lie. It determines so much on how we get out of the bunker. The second one, we want to open our club face. We also want to get a stable stance in the bunker. That's super important. And then we want to use a steep angle of attack. So we're going to kind of pick up the club right away and swing through the ball. One key thing I want to make sure that you're doing when you're doing this is keep your speed up. You don't want to slow down into the ball. You don't want to just stick the club into the ground. You kind of want to hit it like a full shot almost. But again, this shot is going to take a little bit of practice. Okay, so here's another angle of the same shot, about a 15-yard bunker shot. I have a sand wedge in hand. You're going to want a sand wedge most of the time when you're greenside, like I am here. And you're going to want to swing with a good amount of speed. You don't want to slow down into the ball because that's just going to actually kind of dribble off your club and not go very far. This particular shot, I need to get up really quick and land hopefully with a little bit of spin so it stays near the pin. Okay, let's move on to the ever popular greenside lob shot. Now, I don't have much green to work with on this particular shot, about 8 yards, and then the pin is about 10 feet on. So I don't have a whole lot, so I want to make sure one of the first things I do is keep an even tempo through the shot. I want to use a descending blow into the ball and just let that club do the work itself. You don't have to help it up in the air. And then the length of swing should be even back and through. I'll move over to the other angle in just a moment, but the fun thing with the 3 balls that I chipped here, I made 2 of those chips. All right, here's another angle. I wanted to make sure I let you know the club I'm using for each shot here. The 64 degree is not one I want to use much. I like more of a lower shot. It's a higher percentage when you go lower, but sometimes you're just pressed to try and use a more lofted lob wedge. All right, here comes the downhill lob shot, and this can make you either a hero or kind of a goat. I want to show you 64 degree is what I'm using. I don't know if you can really tell, but this is one of the more severe slopes down to a green, maybe about 5 feet below where I'm standing right now. So it's pretty severe. The first thing we're going to want to do on the downhill lob is play the ball back in our stance. We want to make sure we're making good contact and not letting much grass get between the club face and the ball. Second thing, we want, much like you've seen in all the other shots, same length of swing back and through. We don't want a really long back swing and then stop into the ball. That's going to have inconsistent results. And the third key to a downhill lob shot, very much a recurring theme here so far, is maintain speed through the shot and don't try to help that ball up in the air. Let the club do the work. Again, for this shot, just a different angle, using that 64 degree lob wedge, and right there, man, a bug got me really good, but managed to get on with the session here. I want to point out in this session here with the 64 degree lob wedge, it takes a lot of practice. I work really hard on getting a feel for the club and what shots it can produce around the green. I'm never really using this club out in the fairway or for full shots. I'm constantly using this to save shots around the green with these kind of shot attempts. All right, finally hit my target, just a couple inches away. All right, let's move on to one of my favorite shots around the green, the hybrid chip. I really feel like more amateurs should use this. I've also seen professionals use this quite effectively. Really, it's like a putt. You put it in the middle of your stance, you use a putting stroke. And one thing I will say about this particular shot, you're going to want to practice it a couple times for sure before you take it out on course. Here's a slow-mo look of the same shot here. I'm using a 4-iron. You can use effectively a 4-iron all the way up to a 6 or 7-iron and get the similar results if you have those kind of hybrids. But the hybrid, being a little bit thicker sole there, is going to glide through that longer grass a little easier and really just kind of pop right out of there. All right, time for a situational shot where this hybrid shot will work really well. You're up against the collar after a pretty good shot, but just off the green. You're going to want to play it back in your stance, and it'll still pop out. So give it a shot. All right, and as we wrap up the video, thanks, Corey Oaks, for your hospitality. And also, I want to mention, for PGA instruction, please contact your local PGA professional.